Hello, I'm going to do this video talking about, you're going to have to pardon the noise in the background. You know, they're doing more construction again. I don't think they're technically allowed to, but whatever. Didn't sleep much. Stomach problems. This just happens from stress from time to time. And then, you know, they start work 8 in the morning and I can't sleep anymore, so barely slept. So I want to talk about compassion, because there seems to be a serious lack of compassion out there right now. And I got to get it off my chest because, you know, it's been gnawing away at me. Maybe it's part of the reason why I had such stomach trouble last night. But there's no compassion going on. You know, throughout this whole thing, there's no compassion. There's very little compassion out there. And people just have no idea. So many people have no idea what it's like to have mental illness and to deal with what I have to deal with. People, they're not in my shoes, and then they run their mouth about stuff, you know. And the truth is, it's not easy. It's not easy, this whole thing. Since this, you know, this virus and all the shutdowns it's had and the effects it's had on the economy, and people don't understand what it's like to deal with. It's a very lonely life. You gotta remember, I have a lonely life to begin with, so now, with everything shut down, and you can't get together with people, it's even lonelier than ever. And then there are people out there that run their mouth and say, stay home. You can live in this hellhole all day, and you try how you can stay home, alright, listening to that, or dealing with the smoker, or dealing with the view of a brick wall out your window. Don't tell me how I should feel. I love these people tell me how I should feel. I'm grateful, of course, but you know, stay at home doesn't fit everybody. It doesn't fit everybody. Some people need to go out. I need to go out every single day. This is the kind of person I am. Alright? Especially living here, you know. I got out of Westbury, but I paid a price for getting out of Westbury. And that is going from an apartment that was a lot easier to live into this, all right? You know, and you know, this is the life. You have to trade. You know, it's always about location. It's better to have a better location and a smaller place, or a place that's not as quiet or peaceful or whatever, you know, because it's location. It's always, of course, it'd be great if you could have both, but you got to be rich to do that. You know the way it goes. Yeah, this is just going to be just a general rant video, because I'm just fed up with this whole thing. I'm fed up with the attitudes of some of the people out there. And especially some of these stay-at-home people. Stay at home. It's easy for you to say stay at home when you're sitting pretty in your own house with a yard. Don't tell me to stay home. And then I got to hear on the train, oh, are you an essential worker? If you're not an essential worker, you shouldn't be riding the train. Well, bleep you. I need to travel. You know, people, nobody talks about the effects of this whole crisis on people with mental illness. Nobody. You know, and this shutdown drags on now. Now we're getting into the end of May, and we're still shut down. I still can't sit in a restaurant. I still can't go to the mall. Now I'm going to the mall is not that important, all right? But, you know, I mean, I do it once in a while, and I can't even do that. I can't even go into a store. Why can't we go into the store and wear a mask? No, can't do that, sorry. Cuomo says the numbers aren't there yet. Cuomo. The scientists. He just looks at the science. You know, what about people's feelings? Doesn't care about that. He said, well, when I do this, blame me. Well, I am blaming you, Mr. Cuomo. I am blaming you. And Phil Murphy with his Cuomo isn't that bad. Trust me, he's not that bad compared to Phil Murphy. Phil Murphy, you notice when he has a speech that says, "Stay at home, stay at home." No one tells me to stay at home. If I want to go out, I'm going out. You don't live here, so shut the hell up. You know, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. There's no compassion. All people want to do is tell other people what to do and how they should feel. And if anything, the gap between the haves and the have-nots has gotten even worse since this whole thing started. I feel bad for the people in New York City. They can't go swimming at a beach because nobody wants them. Bill de Blasio says New York City beaches are closed to swimming. He's letting people walk along them to say, but you can't go in swimming or you can't go into the water or anything. And Nassau County's like, well, sorry, our beaches are for residents only. Suffolk County, our beaches are for residents only. Towns, our beaches are for residents only. All right? What if you live in North Hempstead Town? What are you supposed to do then? There's no ocean beach for them. Who gives you the right to say you own the beach? It's ridiculous. Where in New York City people supposed to go to the beach? Oh, I guess they're going to have to go to New Jersey. Yeah, because New Jersey, that's the plan, obviously, is if you're not wealthy, they want to just put you in New Jersey. And with Soviet Phil Murphy. It just hit me, like, yesterday. I put that video together, and of course, I put the video together of like walking Deer Park, seeing enjoying some pines and seeing some trash, and then going to Wantor and it's nearly spotless. I see the contrast, and then people tell me, well, that area, when it comes to the train stations, well, they're going to get a nicer train station because it's a higher income area and they pay higher taxes. Give me a freaking break already. Everybody deserves to be treated the same. Shouldn't matter whether you're in Deer Park or Wantor, your train station should be just as good. You should be safe. You shouldn't have bums hanging around. You shouldn't have trash hanging around. You should count. We should all count. But some people just think they don't, because some people make more money than others, that they should count a little more, right? Of course. That's their way of thinking. And they have a right to express their opinion. But again, don't tell me how to feel. People say, and then people are trying to say the Save Our Hicksville page exaggerates how bad things are in Hicksville. Shut the hell up! They are not exaggerating. If anything, they're understating how bad it is. It's really bad in Hicksville. Do you go there every day? Do you see what I see? Do you see what the members of Save Our Hicksville have to see? Especially the founder. She's stuck living in Hicksville. She's stuck living there. Don't tell her how to feel. She's stuck living there. I love these people. Don't tell other people how to feel. Have a little compassion. It just so happens that lady can't move out of Hicksville right now. She has to wait for her husband to retire. And no, they can't afford to just sell the house and then move to a better part of Long Island. But sorry, they're not going to be allowed to live in those nice South Shore neighborhoods. Just like yours truly. Because they only want to be with their own kind. Sorry. People, and then I hear on the news, I was watching on news, I did accidentally put News 12 on the other night, and they were talking about people who've had the virus, who've gotten over it, they're being shunned by their neighbors. Yeah, this is mainly on the South Shore. Not a surprise. said there's snobs there. That's what they are. So they're being treated like outcasts. They've had the virus, they got over it, and yet people are still like avoiding them, like they're a leper or something. Where is the compassion? There is no compassion. Very little compassion. Compassion is in extremely short supply right now. And then people will attack me and say, well, why don't you have compassion for the bums? I do have compassion for the bums. Or the vagrants. All right? I'm not mad at them. It's not their fault that they're hanging around Hicksville or that they're hanging around Minneapolis. It's not their fault. They're refusing to help, but the government isn't doing enough about it. The government doesn't care about those people because the government really care about those people. They tell those people, you have to get help. We're going to make you get help. But instead they just let them live in addiction. Let them live on the streets. And let them live. Some of them are mentally ill. They just let them live like that. Because the government don't care. They just want to move them someplace where a certain demographic doesn't want to live. And you're going to have to listen to that. I'm going to have to go out again. I can't believe I got to listen to this freaking banging. You know, I mean, you try living like this, banging all the time. You know, I think black people have a right to have peace in their apartment. You know, I think that when they renovated, they should have done it all at once, instead of having to do it one by one and then taking months and months and months. You know, I'm not blaming anyone here. I'm not blaming anyone. But again, you try living here. Don't tell me how I should feel. Don't tell me to stay home. All right? Don't tell me to stay home. Because I'm not staying home. I'm going out. I'm going to get on that train. And this is the other part of this rant that I'm really going to rip in on. And that's Pat Foye. A piece of garbage known as Pat Foye, MTA chairman, who suggests that we need to have a reservation to ride a subway, who suggests that we need to have a reservation to ride a bus, and they even suggested we need a reservation to ride the Long Island Railroad. And then he urges people, well, don't use the train to go to the beach. Don't use the train to go to the park. Screw you, Pat Foye! If I've got my ticket, if I've got my fare, and I have my mask on, no one is going to stop me from riding the train or the bus. People are getting in their cars and driving. If anything, Pat Foye is good at, he's driving people away from the system. He's driving people away from the system. You know, I mean, people need to get out and get fresh air. It's not good for people to be cooped up inside all the time. It's not good. It's not good. Mentally, how am I doing? I'm hanging in there. And I'm doing better than I did at the beginning, but this shutdown is really wearing thin on me. And it's not just about not sitting and being able to sit inside a restaurant. It's way beyond that. It's the fact that I'm going out and I don't see people. It's dead everywhere. That's why I went to the Southshore yesterday, because at least there's some people around. I can see some people. I can see people when I go there. I don't see anyone here in the middle of the island. It's dead. It's a ghost town. It's depressing. It's depressing. And of course, the people that also run their mouth, they probably also have wives or girlfriends or whatever. Good for you. Great for you. I'm all alone. So again, shut the hell up. Don't tell me how to feel. You're not in my shoes. I'm not telling you how to feel. I had to do this rant. I had to get this off my chest. I had to. Bang it away. I don't think the construction technically has started yet. I don't think it's technically allowed yet. We're not even phase 1 on Long Island. But, whatever. I don't blame people for wanting to get back to work. I don't blame people for wanting to get back to work. We need to get back to work. This has gone on for too long. More and more people are raising their voices against this tyranny going on. I thought Cuomo was doing a good job, but I think Cuomo is being a little too stubborn now. Phase 1 is construction only. Phase 2, not even the restaurants in phase 2. Was it real estate and financial services? Yeah, that's for a certain demographic. Restaurants aren't even until phase 3. And malls wouldn't be until that phase either. Give me a break. Connecticut even opened their malls. And Connecticut did that. And in some ways, Phil Murphy is more willing to open the right. He said in a couple of weeks he could see indoor dining reopen in New Jersey. Whereas Cuomo, forget about it. You got to remember, Cuomo put Pat Foye in. It's a riot, these ideas that Pat Foye has come up with. Reservations to ride public transportation? Oh, I'm not done with you, Mr. Pat Foye. No for a long shot. Guy is the worst I've ever seen. Absolute worst. First, demonizing the workers, then coming up with these cockamamie schemes like reservations to ride a subway. That doesn't work. So if somebody doesn't have a reservation, what are you going to do? Have the police come and haul them off? I guess you're going to have to haul me off the train. Fair paying customer hauled off the train. That's a great way to get people onto mass transit. We need to get people back on mass transit. But Pat Foye wants to drive them to their cars. A lot of people already, I was reading somewhere, people, when they saw this, they're like, oh, we're just going to drive. Great, let's have more traffic, more pollution. We can get people on mass transit and do it safely, as long as everybody wears a mask, and there's certain capacity limitations, which can be done. What's the big deal? Reservations? What is this, Hampton Jitney, Mr. Pat Foye? Maybe you should go work at Hampton Jitney. You should go over there. You get the hell out of the MTA. You have no business being there. What kind of bull crap is it? Try not to say any of the 4-letter words we're not supposed to say. Alright? It's hard. It's really hard when it comes to talking about people like Pat Foye. It's really hard. I hope he doesn't get away with this, forcing reservations. Because this is going to make my life really hard. I'm supposed to plan every day of the week in advance. I can't just get on a train with a ticket. I can't just get on a bus. What the hell are you thinking, Pat Foye? And who's going to enforce that? Who's going to enforce that? How many people are going to have to hire to enforce that? The MTA is already losing money. We got to stop Pat Foye. We got to stop him. And we got to stop this stay-at-home nonsense once and for all. It's time for everybody to get out there and start living their lives again. We flattened the curve. Why are we still shut down? That doesn't mean... And then there's the protesters. And I'm really dismayed at the protests because they're always flying the Trump flag. Why do you think Trump is your savior? He left us wide open for this whole virus to come into the country. We were woefully underprepared because of Trump. He didn't close down the border soon enough. He didn't have enough stockpiles of PPE. People still can't get masks. Still can't get masks. because he refused to invoke the Defense Production Act. Trump is not our savior. He put us in this mess. He got us into it. And he ain't going to get us out. But the left, and some of the people on the left, including, sadly, our Governor Cuomo, who up until now, I think he's been doing a pretty good job, but I think now it's getting to his head. He's not thinking about the economy. There won't be an economy left if we don't open up New York now. You can open up the state. You don't have to, it doesn't mean we do it with reckless abandon. If you can go into a store, if you go into Walmart or the supermarket, stay 6 feet apart, they do the crowd control, you wear the mask, why can't you go into a mall? Why can't you go into any other store? Why only those stores? Is Cuomo out to want to destroy all the small businesses? Like all the little stores out there? People can go into those little stores as long as they wear a mask and social distance, just like in the supermarket. What's the difference? There is no difference. It's discrimination. It's trying to put the small businesses out of business. And you are starting to see some more defiance. The salons, oh yeah, that's the other thing. People can't even get their hair cut now. That's a health thing. People need their hair cut. And people can't get their hair cut. The salons are still closed. The barbershops are still closed. Why can't they open? I understand that people have to be closed, but as long as everybody wears a mask, what's the big deal? People got to get their hair cut. All the people that are making the rules in this state and in other states, they're not. Who do they think they are? Who do they think they are? They think they could just go on like this for months on it. This was supposed to be temporary. It wasn't supposed to go for more than 6 weeks. I remember Fauci coming over and said, we need 6 weeks of this shutdown, and then we open up. And then all of a sudden they move the goalposts around. Oh, we need more time than that. Cuomo is very famous for that, moving the goalposts around. Oh, hospital bed capacity. Oh, well, now you're below the 30% hospital. Do you know that most of the time, even before coronavirus, there was usually under 30% hospital capacity bed? You do realize that, don't you? But Cuomo's just moving the goalposts around. That's what he does. We're all sick of it, Mr. Cuomo. We're all sick of it. All right. Now, like I said, Cuomo has actually done a good. He showed a lot of restraint. Well, I'm knocking him. At least, thank God he didn't close the parks. Thank God he didn't enact some of the draconian nonsense that came out of people like Phil Murphy, or that came out of Whitmer, or even Tom Wolf in Pennsylvania. All right. Thank God we didn't close the parks, because that was really stupid. And New Jersey's stupidity is still going on. They have a new ad now. Mask up when you enter a state park, hiking in a state park.
It is especially important to mask up in our parking lots, along trails, along paths, and when using the restrooms. Once you mask up, be sure to use the hashtags #IHeartNJParks, #MaskUp, showing us wearing your mask out in our parks.
Walking on a trail with a mask on and hiking is it's not recommended. You're going to overheat. You need more air when you're exercising. Wearing a mask when you're exercising is very dangerous, and there's no benefit to it when you're outside. If you're in an enclosed space with other people, that's when you need to wear the mask. That'd be a bus, that'd be a train, that would be a store, that would be a restroom. But if you are just out in the open, in the forest, going for a walk, you're there for fresh air. You can't even find masks. Thank God I have masks. I've always kept masks, but you can't find masks anywhere still. You can't find masks. You can't find alcohol. Thank God I've had a stockpile of alcohol. You can't find sanitizer still. Because our freaking orange monster of a president wouldn't invoke the Defense Production Act, which should have happened immediately. We should have made sure that there was enough sanitizer, enough alcohol, enough masks for everybody, especially those on the front lines. You know, did make the mistake of watching News 12 a few nights ago, and no, they didn't speak about anything else but Corona, but they spoke of a story we've all heard about. A doctor who was taking care of patients, he contracted COVID because he didn't have if he had the proper PPE, he wouldn't have gotten it. I'm surprised that these doctors aren't wearing like the biohazard suits with the respirators. That's what they should be wearing. They're not protected enough. The doctors and the nurses aren't getting supplies. They still have to reuse the masks. Again, because our freaking president didn't invoke the Defense Production Act. He left this country wide open. He left our doctors and nurses vulnerable. He left us all vulnerable. So all you protesters upset about the shutdown, I totally understand it. But you shouldn't be flying the Trump flags, because we wouldn't be going through this if our freaking blowhard, moronic, egotistic, piece of garbage president did what he was supposed to do. He ran on a platform as, well, I'm going to protect Americans. I'm going to protect Americans. You didn't protect Americans. You left us wide open. You didn't do a damn thing about getting rid of the illegals. You didn't do a damn thing about standing up to Wall Street. Remember when he ran on that? He lied about everything. And the sad thing is, because of the Democrats and their adamance on this control of people, this blowhard could get another 4 years. God knows, I think this virus is punishment for electing him in the first place. Just, I can be fed up with the left and dislike the president at the same time. We can do that, right? But it's either one side or the other. It's either one side or the other. And then we get to this future of what's going to happen on Long Island due to the coronavirus. I don't know. I wonder if this screen is washing out. Well, if it's the video's dark, the video's dark. There's nothing I can do. I don't have fancy lighting. And I'm not going to do this rant outside. We have a dichotomy on Long Island that's getting worse, and that's the thing that's really been upsetting me lately. Every week or every couple of days you hear about another retailer that's going out of business or has filed for bankruptcy. The latest was Pier 1. And which part of Long Island stands to hurt the most due to all these shutdowns? Well, it's going to be the middle of the island. Because the whole economy in the middle of the island, that whole Old Country Road corridor, at least here in Nassau, is based on retail, on these big box stores. And they're all, a lot of them are closing. And we're going to have vacant stores all over the place. Well, I smell joints again. And this is another thing I have. People in the building where I live occasionally smoke. I got the cigarette smoker. Thank God he stopped. He's going outside. And then I got these people downstairs that want to smoke marijuana. Anyway, where did my train of thought go? It derailed. All right, so you have all these big box stores sitting empty in the middle of the island. And they're going to be magnets, as you saw it in Hicksville, what happened with Sears. They're going to be magnets for vagrants. And there's going to be more and more of these empty stores lining the middle of the island. While the Southshore, even now, the Southshore is finding a way to survive. I see the restaurants, they're open for takeout I was passing through Rockville Center, and there are people hanging outside the restaurant. They got a life there. It's not completely dead, not like here. Again, it's the South Shore doesn't have an economy based on all those big box stores. It's bedroom communities with little downtowns, whereas the middle of the island is just one big. The middle of the island doesn't have many downtowns. It's more based on these strip malls and shopping malls, and not downtowns. And now these malls are going to sit empty, attracting more hoodlums and more problems. Then they're going to get dumped here. So in the middle of the island, I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be right about any of this stuff. But I'm worried. I'm worried what's going to happen. The middle of the island is going to continue to get worse while the South Shore continues to get... You have all these people now escaping Bill de Blasio's New York. I can't blame them. The crime has gone way up. It's getting more dangerous there. And the South Shore is going to become even more desirable. It's going to become even more desirable, and more of them are going to buy homes in their enclaves, and a certain demographic will move in. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is all said and done by this time next year, home prices in Belvoir could be pushing $900K, or maybe even $1 million. All right. While the middle of the island, it will just stagnate. It won't, it'll just stagnate. Everybody wants to be on the South Shore. That's the place to be. I can't blame them. It's a nice place to live. But again, you got to be of a certain kind of demographic to live there. They only want to be with their own kind. They won't allow out somebody who's different, somebody who's an outcast. And I've been an outcast my whole life. I've never been the popular kid, and I never will be the popular kid. I don't really want to be on the South Shore. I want to see the middle of the island improve. And as far as these empty malls and big box stores go, maybe they can be converted to housing. We have a shortage of supermarkets in the middle of the island, particularly Mineola and that whole Country Road corridor going east toward Westbury. Maybe have some new supermarkets. The supermarkets seem to be doing very well. Maybe we could have more of that, It's just things have changed so much, and this virus is just... I don't want to downplay this virus at all. That's not the purpose of it. It's a serious illness. It's something that has to be treated with respect. But we have to live our lives. People die every day of different things. You can do everything right and still die. My mom did everything right. She ate healthy. She took care of herself. She got breast cancer. She beat it, and then it came back, and it killed her very quickly. And she did everything right. Never smoked, never drank. And she only made it to 50. You gotta live your life to the fullest every day. And too many people, literally, they are taking time away from us with this lockdown. They are taking time we could be enjoying our lives, and they are stealing it from us. And what does this accomplish? It's not accomplishing anything. What it is it's causing depression. It's causing economic strife. You hear about the food lines. You hear about people out of work. And yet Wall Street keeps going up. People out of work. Millions out of work. Wall Street keeps going up. It just shows you how out of touch Wall Street is. They only care about their own kind. And then they want to come on here and intimidate me. And I wanted to leave this all behind. And then this whole virus thing happened, and I'm like, well, I got to talk about it, because the news media, forget it, they're not talking about any of this stuff. They're not talking about the crime. I think something happened going back from the South Shore yesterday. I don't know, I saw a lot of police activity. There was some police activity in Belvoir. And then when I got to, I got off at Lynbrook, took the bus back up to Newlight Park, and then I got on the bus to go back to Mineola down Jericho Turnpike. I didn't get a picture, but there were a whole 4 or 5 police cars by a gas station on Jericho Turnpike and Newlight Park, probably a robbery. We won't hear about it on the news because the news doesn't care. They only care about a certain demographic. I don't know what happened in Belvoir, but yeah, that might get reported, but maybe not. They want to pretend the crime doesn't happen. They want to pretend nothing else happens. News 12, they say they've been in this together. No, we're not. No, not in this together. Because News 12 only cares about a certain demographic. They don't talk about how people with mental illness are dealing with this. They don't talk about the crime. They don't talk about the strife. They're rarely in the middle of the island. No, they only care about Wall Street. They're in with Wall Street. It's all Corona all the time. That's all they want to talk about. They don't. Even the city stations. When I put on Channel 4 the other night, they were talking about crime. They were talking about shooting. But News 12, it's News 12, and that guy who said in that protest, he said, "You used to be a good station."
It used to be a good channel at one time. I don't know what happened to you.
Not anymore, and he was right. Ever since Altice bought News 12, it's been downhill. And it's just hit rock bottom now. It's hit rock bottom. And that's why I don't watch it anymore. I don't watch it anymore. This video's going on like 36 minutes already. I don't want to make it too much longer. I just wanted to have this little, I guess, rant, because I need to get it off my chest. Our freedoms are being taken away in the name of this virus. Our lives are being taken away. People are trying to intimidate us to stay home. People are trying to, discriminate against people in New York City. Long Beach. Long Beach, you can't... Long Beach this weekend, you got to be a Long Beach resident to go to the beach there. That's right. Not even Nassau County. You got to be a Long Beach resident. They have this huge beach, and it's only for them. I mean, and you have this back and forth. Oh, Long Island, you're not New York City, not welcome. I'll tell you this. If you're from New York City, you want to come to the beach here, you are welcome. I don't care where you came from, what income you make, what color your skin is, you are welcome. This discrimination is ridiculous. And people are now using this virus as an excuse to discriminate. I mean, what if my friend Andy Q wants to go to the beach? He can't go to the beach in the city because it's not allowed. He can't go to the beach on Long Island. And I don't think NICE is running Jones Beach service this weekend. So if you want to go to Jones Beach, well, sorry, you're going to have to get ripped off by a taxi, Uber, or Lyft. You can't even do that. In Long Beach, well, you can get there by train, but you're not going to be able to get on the beach. In Suffolk County, I think there are a couple of beaches there that they're limiting to Suffolk County residents only. Town of Brookhaven is limiting to, So at Corey Beach Park, which is a beautiful place I went to, they're saying, well, you got to be resident to go there this weekend. I'm not going to go there, but I wouldn't go to the beach on Memorial because it's too crowded. And that's not my thing. But people need to get on with their lives, need to enjoy their lives. We're only on this planet a certain amount of time, and people can die for any reason. And to think that people are spending their last days locked in their houses, in this shutdown, in this lockdown, it's got to end. It's got to end. Now. And you know what? If the governor doesn't want to do it, if they don't want to do it, we got to start doing it anyway. We do it responsibly. We do it anyway. We got to open our businesses. We got to open our parks to everybody. And if, sorry, not a resident. Storm the damn beach. Not a resident. Give me a break. Give me a break. All those people from New York City, they're going to have to go to New Jersey. At least New Jersey isn't doing that nonsense. It's like everybody's got to have their own little idiosyncrasy, little snobbery going on. Again, where's the compassion? There is no compassion. People are just looking out for themselves. It's like completely, people compare this to after September 11th. No, it's like night and day. After September 11th, everybody came together. And there was such a unity. We're not seeing that unity now. No. Instead, we're seeing more division than ever. And it's really sad. But I guess I've spoken long enough. It's 40 minutes. I'm not here to be ungrateful about anything. But I have to vent. I have to vent. And the fact is, there are people out there that are trying to take away our freedoms, trying to restrict our movement, trying to tell us what to do like we're children when we're adults. This is the United States of America. We can't stand for that. And the most lunacy, of course, goes to Pat Foye. with his reservations. Reservations. Really. So I need a reservation to get on a train. I need a reservation to get on a train. Really. Well, this is what I think of your reservation system, Pat Foye. I got my ticket, and that's going to be good enough. Dare you to try to throw me off the train. I dare you. I have a right to ride that train. Don't try to make me feel guilty with all your essential worker signs. You're not an essential worker. Why are you reading this? Nonsense. It's essential for me to get out. It's essential for me to travel. Maybe it's not for you, but don't tell me what to do. This is the United States of America. We have freedom of movement, and I'll be damned if anyone tries to take that away from me. Take care, everybody, and thank you for watching.